as the person who edits the shows, I could probably list every single episode off the top of my head because I know what they are, what year they were shot, what date they were shot. So, but there were so many moments I can't take back. There was a time where Walmack said to Greg, "How do you respect a baseball player for sitting there chewing sunflower seeds all day?" You know, and then he goes, "What if in basketball you had a designated free throw shooter? You know, and you call him in and you free throw shooter." And Greg is sitting there. I know Greg's gonna react to that. That was classic.
Hold on. So what if we had in basketball? What if my only job in basketball was designated free throw shooter? Every time.
They probably still have one. Have you seen Joey Dorsey? He shoots 21%. They should be somebody that shoots for him.
But wait, hold on. In basketball, you have to play both sides. So if they said every time Shaq got injured, all right, Derek Fisher come, you could take every free throw Shaq. How would you respect that?
Now, let me ask you a question. But let me ask you. Now, did somebody say 10 years ago? You know what? Let's ask.
The favorite moment. I got a couple favorite moments. I think the first one would be when Greg said, if we put him on a basketball court, he could play his sport better than me. And I just responded, "I will kill you." Or something to that effect, like I will destroy you. I think that was the exact words. I will destroy, because it like hit my nerve that this guy actually thought, you know, I'm a former professional myself, and just for you to think you could step on that stage with me and compete with me was kind of disrespectful. So I think I just responded with, I would destroy you.
I guarantee I could play their sport on their level.
I would destroy you. Don't ever disrespect me like that.
Okay. I can. Did I say? I said I can play your sport.
Okay. Walmack.
What I'm saying is I can compete. I'm not gonna be a scrub. I'm not gonna be a scrub.
Man, you guys saw the segment. It was pure craziness. Till this day, it's still the most ridiculous, ludicrous thing I've ever heard from a basketball player.
All right, so here's the competition right now. Then you pitch, I hit, and then we go play basketball.
Let's do it.
I guarantee I get more hits off for you than you score against.
Oh
me.
yeah, set it up. Set it up. Set it up. Money on this.
I guarantee you, I'll take your money.
Set it up. That's my representative.
Take your money.
Representative, tell him what's going on. He trying to put, listen, let me let y'all know what's happening. This guy right here, said that he said my man right here, my client. He said my client can't get a hit. I ain't saying that. He said my client can't get a hit. We set it up. We gonna get a hit, and then my man gonna cook it. That's it. Flame broil. My man gonna cook it. James Harden style.
I'd like to say, Mac, don't duck me this summer. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna embarrass you on the baseball field by any means necessary. And then after I shoot that one jump shot, because you won't touch the baseball, you will then have to make this vlog why baseball is harder than basketball.
Good afternoon and welcome to Smoke and Mirrors, presented by the Sports Hit List. I'm your host, Stephen Polius, alongside Declan Krogman and Greg Polius. And we're back for the Friday edition. Gentlemen, how you doing? Declan, welcome back. We missed you on Monday. Jar filled in. I don't know if you watched the episode. Jar filled in nicely, and he had some words. He shared some words.
Do I get to respond?
Yeah, I mean, I'm about to ask you how your week was, so by all means.
It was great. I got to see Ray Jarvis in the real life.
Wow.
In the real life.
I know, it's so weird to say that. We went to the Yankee game on Wednesday to resolve our beef. Just kidding. We went, to the Yankee game with my boy Eddie Gonzalez, of course. Shout out to homie Manny. Also went. He didn't have to pull out a Tatis jersey. I was waiting for him to pull out a Whit Merrifield or something. I didn't know what he was gonna do.
Never know with that kid now.
Those guys are a lot of fun. Ray, I think his Facebook name is Rodriguez Yar, also was there, and Ryan, I want to say Santiago was there also. So definitely a sports hit list squad on a Wednesday night in the Bronx. So
nice.
For that, my week was great. Ryan, I want to say Santiago was there also. Who's playing us? Who is it? I feel like we're on speaker. What is this? Was that you? That was definitely
yeah. I opened it up. I had to turn it back down. So, Steph, how was your week?
My week was good. It's been a nice week, beautiful weather, you know. So I say that, but I've been outside like once or twice. I just like to look out my window and see nice weather. I like to go out maybe on the stoop and stand out there for a bit to get the sun, the rays, the vitamin D. But yeah, it's been a really relaxed week. I'm looking forward to this weekend. I have I recorded the 5th episode for my podcast just yesterday, so it's like,
yeah, I got it queued up.
Yeah, it's a good one. So I mean, well, we just recorded episode 5, but episode 4 was growing up black. That I enjoyed that one. It's a really good listen. Just a peek into my life and my 2 co-hosts, you know, growing up in the black family, black household. But yeah, so it's a good week, and like I said, looking forward to the weekend. What about you, Greg? How you feeling?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. It's, like you said, beautiful weather. Got to go outside a couple times. You know, my first ever class that I taught graduated this week, so that was fun.
Nice. Congrats to them.
Thank you. Yeah.
And to you.
But during this week, you know, you heard on a Monday show, myself and Ray Jarvis calling out you know, the head honcho, Carl Coulange himself.
I was there for some of it.
On his ridiculous notion that there's no ifs in sports. And he clapped back on his Wednesday show. And he ultimately said, you know, he's already won because now he has a team of people buying into his hype of this no ifs in sports. And because of that, he's a winner. But here's the thing, Carl, and I'm going to use your name because I want to call you out directly. Just because you say something silly and people follow it doesn't mean you've won. Okay, we had people believe that a certain someone won an election for how many months. They still believe it.
MAGA vibes.
They still believe it, and
the recounts are still going.
And you know what they say? They say, "Yeah, he's the rightful president. We should follow him." Carl, is that what you want to be? Is that who you want to be? Do you want to be that guy that you walk your troops into a battle with nothing? Because that is what your argument stands on. Nothing. Pillars of nothingness. You cannot deem a credible argument credible when it comes from nothing. So what I need you to do, Carl, is to take a step back and understand that you have no basis for your argument and just pack it up. And all the people that follow you tell them you were wrong and you apologize for, because here's another thing. If you consider that winning, we all lose because we all under the brand. And I need you as a brand leader, as a brand ambassador, not to be that guy. That's all I have to say.
Well, wow. Boss man, I'm gonna call you by your nickname, not by your name. But boss man, you already know what the beef is, and you're gonna be back on Wednesday, I assume, to address it. But you know, Greg Polius, while he takes a sip, made a statement.
Condescending sip, nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely condescending sip. I always want to like separate myself. Like that is a him thing for sure, not a us thing in Smoke and Mirrors. I stand by you a lot, Greg, and you know, like I got your back most of the time, but it's not my beef. You know what I'm saying? So like, arm's length. But Carl, wait for the clap back.
Damn, so not 10 toes down. We can't even do that, bro.
Like, this ain't the one for me though, bro. Like honestly, like you pick and choose your battles, and I said, I usually got your back, but this is the one I'm like, you know, like I agree with you. You know, that's the thing. Like I agree with your narrative, what you're saying. So like I got you there, but I'm not trying to go to war right now. That's all I'm saying.
Company.
Yeah, you know, it's a little bit too close to the vest.
See, I've been doing this with Carl for 20 years, so this is nothing new.
It's regular for y'all.
You might be the common denominator. That's the way you might be. Might have to give him.
Or it might be Carl.
It could be Carl. It could be Carl. I don't know. It could go either way.
Well, with that being said, I'm glad you got the grudge out of the way. We'll get to the sports now. Want to talk the Suns and the Clippers. All right, series is 2-1 right now, but you had the Suns going up 2 games. looking dominant, looking like a team that couldn't be beat. And especially game 2, where you have Paul George, or as Greg likes to call him, George Paul, showing how George Paulian he is, missing his 2 clutch free throws to then lose in an inbound pass that, I mean, the stadium was great. I love that. Seeing that clip, because I saw that highlight, was amazing. I couldn't imagine being there. I know your sister's probably going a little bit wild, Declan, when that happened. I mean, I know last night, but I'm talking about game 2, because game 2 was just an amazing finish. But last night, you do have Chris Paul coming back, off of COVID, which I want to say that you could see that he's not 100% there. He played 38 minutes. It's a lot of minutes for someone that's coming back after being out 10 days, especially dealing with illness like that. Devin Booker, who got hurt, broke his nose in game 2, wearing the mask in game 3, saw some effects that he said that it was nothing, that he played fine with it, but to me it showed. And then you have the Suns losing Cameron Payne, who only played 4 minutes. So the defeat in game 3, caveats there. But Greg, I'm gonna go to you first. What do you think about the current state of the Suns? Do you see this as being something that the Clippers can maintain, or is it really the Suns that just have to right the ship and then they're good to go?
So we know that the Clippers have come back from down 2-0 in the last 2 series.
Yeah.
So credit to them for that. But I don't I don't think this is going to happen there. Devin Booker, they clamped him up a couple times. I don't see that happening for the rest of the series. I can't remember who said it. Somebody said in the comments on one of the first 2 games were pick 'em, and that it could have gone either way, which is right. Yep. But good teams tend to win those pick 'em games. I mean, granted, there's 4 teams left. Every team is a good team, but I do think that the Suns are going to find ways to close. But what I do want to say on Chris Paul coming back from COVID is not easy. I think him playing 38 minutes, and you could see there was a little rust that had to be shaken off there.
Yeah.
You got to be able to control your breathing. Your body doesn't react the same. It's very different. So for him to even play that many minutes, that's a testament to his grittiness. But I foresee him having better offensive games going forward. And also, I need DeAndre Ayton to be better. You can't be getting outplayed by Zubac. He had 10 points in the first quarter, and then he only had 8 points for the rest of the game. That's not going to cut it. As far on the Clippers side, they did what they need to do to win. I know I said Suns in 4, but that was more a testament to the Suns fan in the Nuggets series. But call it Suns in 5.
You're just gonna go up 1. So you're sticking to that. Yep. You have a chance right now to change it. Do you want to think about it while Declan goes and then come back, or you want to stick with 5?
We'll see.
All right.
He's not changing it. Come on.
Deck.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you think?
It was definitely a tough night for the Suns. Pretty predictable. I mean, as great of a player as Chris Paul is, pretty predictable to see him shoot a little poorly after being out 10 days with COVID. So there's that. As far as the actual game goes, aside from Chris Paul and the whole COVID drama and stuff, I thought Reggie Jackson was good. It was nice to see him shoot. Obviously I don't like the Clippers, but he was good. He wasn't the greatest when he was in Detroit, so it's nice to see him kind of get right into it and get back to being really he's blossoming in LA. So I got to give him his flowers there. If we're gonna give anyone in his flowers there, it's gonna have to be him. I also thought that Pat Beverly, that clutch 3, was really the dagger. From the corner there, unless there were a couple of daggers if we thought the Suns were going to get back in it. Booker with the mask since his injury has been playing great. Hopefully he can start shooting better. I think they started off the game between him and Paul. They were 0 for 8 from the jump.
Yeah.
Not a recipe to win basketball games. No secret there. I still like the Suns in that series. I think Paul George was good after missing those tough 2 free throws. Was he fatigued? Was he not? Is that an excuse? Shout out Andres. I don't know.
Don't shout out nonsense.
I put a negative connotation on his name when I did that. It's really a shit out. It's not a shout out. It's a shit out. All right. That's what it is. Exactly what it is.
I've never heard shit out, and it's a little bit uneasy. I'm uneasy right now.
It is a little weird. I don't know how I feel about it.
What even does that mean?
Shit out? It sounds...
Yeah, that's a vision I didn't want on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna have to go with Suns in 6. I think the Clippers will steal one in Phoenix, but I really need the Suns to win Game 4 because if they don't win Game 4, the momentum could shift. I know.
Wait, with the momentum, that's not a real thing.
Another
Those
on.
people.
That was another one.
Yeah, it was, unfortunately.
I'm still going Suns in 6. I really like them. I mean, this is great. The Suns, obviously, besides last year, the bubble Suns, they didn't officially make the playoffs, but they were good in the bubble. This is a team that's been bad for a while. They picked 8 and first overall a couple of years ago. It's great to see them in the Final Four right now. So I know that's not what they call it. They're in the West Finals. We make stuff up sometimes. They're in the Western Conference Finals. This is the year to do it. I mean, there is no gauntlet coming out of the East like there normally is, or even another gauntlet in the West. I think the Suns are the best team out there right now. I really do.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. Book that.
I am doubling down. I'm still going Suns in 5.
All right.
Right. I'm not going to change.
That.
Yeah. No, it's all right. I wanted to give you an opportunity to think about it because it feels like you just said it and I wasn't sure if you thought about it yet. So I wanted to give you a chance. This is me having your back. This is me giving you a chance.
Oh, after you didn't have my back after my
I tap you. It's not, I'm not like right next to you. I'm right behind you. Like you doing a good job. It's like one of those, like you're doing a good job. I believe in you, but I'm not like shoulder to shoulder with you, going against boss man. I'm sorry. But, I was going to say, Deck, I agree with you. Suns in 6. I will say that after game 2, going into game 3, Ty Lue, apparently when they landed, he called Paul George and talked to him and just like to have him shake off like that tough loss. Because I mean, I don't care who you are, ice in your veins or not. When you let your team down in a situation where you are the guy, right? There's all this hoopla out in the media about you, the team not being what they need to be. You had an amazing comeback the series before, but it's tough to have the game on your shoulders and not deliver and then expect to go into the next game and be that guy. But that bounce back, there's only a certain number of athletes, superstars that can really do it.
Especially when the series could have been 1-1. And it took
to
do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the momentum. It's the momentum shift.
Yes.
It's the momentum shift,
so free throws, they were still up 1. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Every time I hear momentum shift, I can't help but laugh at the ridiculousness we dealt with for an hour.
Well, you know what? I'm trying not to mention it anymore because it shouldn't be addressed because it was ridiculous. And, people who believe that momentum doesn't exist are foolish people. I have respect. I will allow some of those people onto the show and we'll have great discourse, but we're not going to talk about that anymore. That's not something we're going to discuss as not being a thing. But yeah, with that, I want to get into the Bucks and the Hawks and Ice Trae. We saw the Knicks series. I saw this in the 76ers series, and we're seeing it now in the Bucks series. The kid is different. All right. Now you could call him the villain. You could say that, you don't like him, but he has a flair. He has a flair to him. Not only does he perform, but it's not just how he performs on the court. It's the antics along with it. Like what was it? Third quarter, wide open for the 3, shimmies before knocking down the shot. That's the kind one that's good. It's good television, right? It's just good for entertainment. But those are moments that when we look back at like a 30 for 30 or ESPN covering anything or whatever, like recollection of games, it's plays like that, players like that really bring out the best in a series and also like remind us why we love sports so much. So Trae Young to me is someone that is doing it on hitting on all cylinders right now. It was a great game. I was actually impressed by Drew Holiday coming back after a rough game 7. I forgot what did he drop, like 38, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. 38 with like 10 or 11 assists. He's doing what the Bucks got him for, right? He got signed to be this guy. Beginning of the season, it was a little rough, and he was trying to find his footing. But in the playoffs, overall, Drew Holiday has been great for the Bucks. I really like this series right now. I know it's game 2 is tonight. But Dak, I'll let you start this one. What are your thoughts on where this sits? I want to know who you have, Bucks or the Hawks, and Trae Young. What do you think about young Ice Trae?
Yeah, I mean, he's been amazing. I've heard a lot of things online, maybe in the hit list, maybe not in the hit list, just about everywhere. This whole Steph Curry comparison. And I'm not necessarily going to compare the 2 ball players intangibly, but I'm going to look at the fact that, back, those pre-KD Warriors when Klay Thompson, wasn't the Klay Thompson before the Splash Brothers. Let's talk 2013 right now. Draymond, whatever. When that team was a one-man show, And I do see the similarities. I mean, who had this team going to the Eastern Conference Finals? Most people didn't even have them beating the Knicks.
Yep.
They didn't have them beating the Sixers, except with the exception for Greg. I mean, once Embiid's knee kind of went out and then the news was there, that's when, the table started turning. But I got this game going 7-7 regardless, really. I think the Bucks will be able to pull it out. I think we'll get a Bucks-Suns finals. That could be a fun one. I think it's definitely one that not a lot of people expected. Giannis is over the hump. But Trae Young is the only man standing in front of him to really stop him from all the criticism and the hate to get to this final. So it would be nice to see the Bucks Suns. I see this game going 7. I'm going to give it to the Bucks. Excuse me, the series going 7. I'll give it to the Bucks.
Greg?
So I know I initially picked the Bucks to win the series. I think it was in 6, based on experience.
Yeah.
But I think a Suns Hawks finals would be great for the NBA. So as much as I think that the Bucks may win it, I'm pulling for the Hawks to win because that is what I want to see for basketball purposes. And also, if the Bucks can't figure out, if Coach Bud can't figure out a way to stop Atlanta from getting whatever shots they want, the Bucks are going to struggle to close games because we know Giannis isn't the closer, and everyone knows it's either going to be Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday with the ball in their hands. So unless Giannis discovers how to close a game magically in this series, the Hawks are going to be a lot of trouble for them.
I agree with that. I think as long as it comes down to like the last bucket, in the last 2 minutes or the last 10 seconds, I should say, like the Hawks have the advantage. Trae Young to me is just again ice in the veins. He's someone that you want like he is a superstar. You want the ball in his hands, whereas Giannis is not that just yet. Drew Holiday, though, the way he looked in game 1, like him or Middleton finishing, feel pretty confident in either of them. But I'm going to go with Deck again on this. I got 7 is going 7 games, I believe. And I'm going Bucks, but Greg, I do agree with you. Seeing Hawks Suns, I mean, Trae Young in anything really right now is what I'm like. It's why I'm banking on that because he's just good TV. He's again, he's entertaining and he's a solid player. 48, he put a 48 bomb on their heads. Like it seemed like he could have missed at one point, and that's
the one thing I will say, not to cut you off completely, but the Bucks didn't shoot well. Trae Young was excellent.
Hawks didn't shoot well either from 3 at all.
They didn't shoot well from 3.
I'm saying the Bucks didn't shoot well, and that was still the game down to the wire. I mean, that came down to free throws at the end. Yeah. So I look at that as a temporary win for Atlanta, but not necessarily the way that they want to totally get them.
That doesn't even make sense, bro. A temporary win, they won the game. How is it temporary?
No. A temporary win isn't like a temporary strategy, as in this is what they did temporarily that's going to win, but that's not how you're going to have to win all these games. That's
I mean, if Nate McMillan has showed us anything, is that he knows how to adjust on the fly. So, he's done it throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's going to be entertaining. I do want a Hawks Suns, like I said, but I am going Bucks in 7.
You know what? Scratch that. I don't want to see the Bucks win. I don't, because the Bucks are boring basketball. I want to see I want to see the Hawks win, and I want to see Trae Young and Devin Booker go at it.
I think the narrative with Giannis being in the championship like that I want that. I don't mind that. Like the narrative definitely is better with Trae Young and the Hawks, but Giannis to me is someone that gets a lot of flack, and if he brings this team to the championship and wins it, like there's nothing else to be said really at this point. So I like that narrative, and I'm okay with that, but I'm not upset if the Hawks win and they're going against the Suns. But yeah, so moving on, get into some baseball, which we all know and love. The Wednesday show, they cover, the football, the basketball, they dabble, and they leave the baseball to us typically. I know you guys were talking sticky stuff on Wednesday. Yeah. Shout out to you, Greg, going over there and holding it down. Enemy territory, really, at this point.
I know, right?
But I want to start with the Red Hot Astros. And Greg, I think you had them win in the West, right?
I absolutely did.
Okay, I had that too.
You gonna lie to the people like that, bro?
No. Oh no, I'm sorry. No, you're right. Not the AOS. You're right. I was thinking. I had not the Astros. I had the Mariners definitely, but I remember saying something about the Astros. I think I was high on them. Oh no, it was the new format. I was saying that they were going to be the wild card.
Yes, I had the Astros winning, and what I specifically said is, one, they have the experience. Even if they get down early in the season, they still can come back and win games because of that lineup, because of their pitching. And that is exactly what we're seeing. And shout out to Deck picking the Angels because he's the only one who thought that.
Well, I mean, hey.
Hey, just hey.
Hey, what else? There's nothing more to say. It happens. I mean, I think I'm 5 for 6 right now, maybe. It's 4 for 6 because the Yankees aren't in first place yet.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that. Don't worry, we're gonna get to that too. We will. I think what we're seeing with the Astros is, and they're not just beating up on the dregs of the league; they're beating good teams. And they early on in the season they had some injuries to some pitchers. Now guys are starting to come back. Altuve's hot.
Yes, he is. That was a big part of it too.
Scalding hot. He doesn't need any garbage cans, right? He doesn't need any of that. And he's still smoking a baseball because that man hits, period.
Don't take the bags anymore in his age, but it's definitely still hits.
Maybe he can win a real MVP.
That is so silly.
But it's so accurate. It is so accurate.
No, it's not, because like I have stated on several occasions, all of these teams have cheated in some way, shape, or form. The Astros just got caught.
Yeah, but all of these managers have not lost their jobs. Like, it's a whole different.
I don't think
didn't lose their job. The Alex Cora didn't lose his job.
You only lose your job when you get caught. You only lose your job when you get caught. I mean, the same way that look at it this way, right? Because I remember someone in one of our group chats dropped the something from Twitter talking about Garrett Cole and his spin rate, and how since the inspections of pitchers and the ban on substances, illegal substances, his spin rate is its lowest since 2017. That's a long time. He got his big contract off of his dominance in Houston. You know what I'm saying? So like seeing that a player that cheated but didn't get caught but got his payday. And in this case, Deck, you're saying that, oh, well, these guys, they got their MVPs, or they won, but no one got fired. That doesn't mean anything, because guys have been getting away with it for the longest. The only people we see that get held accountable are the ones that slip up. All right. And there's been numerous reports saying that multiple teams have used some system, not the same as the Astros, but used some system to gain an advantage. So it is popular.
It was not the same because it was not.
It's still cheating. They would use cameras. They would have their own person in center field getting the pitches, getting the calls from looking at the catcher's signs. It's still cheating.
But what the Astros did was so extreme. If one of us carries out an affair,
the extremeness doesn't matter.
Versus
the Yankees were using iWatches to relay signs.
Let's get it right. If we're gonna
he has an Android. That's right. Let him be.
You know what
he can call what you want.
But they were still using watches to relay signs. It's the same principle.
Did Joe Girardi lose his job, or did the team just get fined?
That's my point, though. You're speaking to my point. He
didn't
lose his job.
I want to know
because he got caught.
Why? I want to know why the whole entire Astros front office was blown up.
They got made an example
of. They made an example out of them
because they were significantly worse than what everyone else was.
Okay, hold on, real quick. If so, it's like saying, oh, I cheated on my partner. I kissed someone else. I kissed another woman, or I had sex with another woman. It's still cheating at the end of the day, right? Like, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter what the severity of it is what I'm saying. It's still cheating. So whether it was, they had their Apple Watches, or they were beating on garbage cans, you still cheated. You got an advantage by using some form that is not legally allowed, and the what's levied afterwards does not matter. It's the action. You're focusing on what took place after getting caught and saying that one team didn't get sanctions as heavy as the other, but that does not matter.
And first of all, the person who has suffered the most from this is not the Astros. It's Carlos Beltran, because he still doesn't have a job.
Yes, very true.
That's right. But again,
and what we need to accept here is that cheating is a fabric woven within baseball. Once you accept that, you will be okay. And realize that it's going to happen one way or another. And once the MLB accepts that, they will also be okay.
Yeah,
I get that. By the way, there's no way, Greg, that you can co-sign that narrative of kissing is the same thing.
I didn't. It's still cheating. I didn't say it's the same. It's cheating. That's what I'm saying.
As a principle, that is
the difference is different levels, the different severities of it, right? Because you're talking about, oh well, the Yankees didn't do that bad, so it's not the same. They still cheated. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what took place.
What I'm saying is when there's like cheating where it's like little stuff, not ridiculous stuff. Like if you want to say pine tar or little things, stealing signs versus
do me a favor, take the Yankee fanboy hat off for 1 second because you sound so ridiculous.
They
got an advantage
to do with the Yankees because you're just saying you just brushed off them using iWatches to Apple Watches to relay signs as not that big of a deal.
Compared
and shout out to Zane in the comments. Zane is saying Girardi on live television said they did similar things to the Astros. So did the Dodgers. So did the Texas Rangers. This is nothing new. And I tried to tell y'all this early on in the season, and you had this same putrid argument against it, and it doesn't hold weight.
Well, it's like it's just not the same. I understand when you go to a different extremity, that's when stuff is. And I see Zane with the grown man tears. Trust me, nobody sweats the Astros, and I'm not sweating right now. I can't say I'm too upset about the Astros being in first place in June right now. That's not. It's not at the top of my list of things.
The Yankees are not a better team than the Astros right now as it stands, period. It's not even close.
I never once said that. I'm not sure.
Because you're talking about June, but as if the baseball being played doesn't matter.
No, I'm saying I cannot say that right now it's at the top of the things in the sports world.
Just like the Mets are a better team than the Yankees right now.
Yeah, right now. We'll see,
they're doing the Mets are doing this with the bench mob. So yes,
the Yankees have won 7 of their last 9 games,
and still don't have a better record than the Mets.
Well, are they still? They're 4 games back in the East, right?
Yeah. So now the perfect segue to the musical chairs in the AL East.
Yes.
Yeah.
7 and 9. Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to continue? Yeah, sure. Happy to do it. The Yankees are on fire right now. Gary's got 8 home runs in his last 23 games. Judge is back up to 286 after hitting 3. He had a home run. He went 3 for 3 after a tough game the night before where he struck out like 4 times, went 0 for 5. Aside from that, he's been pretty good. He had the multi-hit game, little hitting streak going here and there. But yeah, he's been really good. Stanton's been hitting. It's nice to see him get back after come back a little bit slow after the injury. We got a good start from Jamison Tyone yesterday. Nice to see. This team's going to need pitching if they want to get in the race because you're not just going to win with Garrett Cole. You're going to need a little bit more than that. Corey Kluber's not going to be back till July. A move needs to be made. And the problem is, and the 2 guys, I went on Spot on Sports yesterday. Shout out to Mike Trezza and Mike Gudone. The problem right now is that the 2 guys that were on the Yankees' radar, that's Luis Castillo and Kyle Hendricks, are both essentially off the market for completely different reasons. In Kyle Hendricks' case and the whole Cubs case, I heard a lot of blockbusters that are not going to happen. Chris Bryant's not coming to the Yankees. I'm sorry. It's not happening, especially not this year. This is a team that's like at least 8 games over 500 at the top of the Central. So the Cubs have been really good so far this year.
Yeah.
Kyle Hendricks, he's not coming to New York.
Yeah, I think he has 10 wins too.
He's been very good. And he's only throwing like 88 miles per hour, but his stuff moves completely off the table. The dude knows
Love it. Love to see it.
He's an Ivy League mind coming out of Dartmouth, and it shows when he takes the mound every 5 days. As far as Luis Castillo goes, he's been stinking up my fantasy team all year. I mean, this guy has been horrible.
Yes.
I almost wanted to pick him for Cy Young, but for whatever reason, the Reds defense swayed me away from it. And I didn't like some of the stuff I was seeing from him leading with his changeup dominantly. He threw it more predominantly in 2020 than he did in 2019 and 2018. And that's something that worried me a little bit. And it's come back. Guys are sitting on it. And he throws flames, which is upsetting because his stuff does move. But sometimes his fastball is a little flat and it lets him to get hit around. So unless they can get him for cheap, I don't see a way that and the Reds are an exciting ball club. I mean, this is 2 years ago that are rebuilding. So this team needs pitching. How? I'm not sure. They're going to have to make a move. They're going to have to go all in. With Luke Voit coming back, this core is actually really good. I mean, they got a lot of bombers, no pun intended, at the middle of that lineup. I mean, it really is the gauntlet. I mean, if I'm an opposing pitcher, I am looking at that whole core of Judge, Stanton, even Gary now, and Voit. And hopefully Glaber can get back. And then we're going to need to do a little more. He's heating up a little bit
he hasn't really got it going. I mean, he has a few games, then he cools off. He's batting like 260 something, I think.
I think he might have got up to 270. I'm confident that he'll get to 290 by the end of the year because I have to do it. But right now, he just needs to get a little bit better.
Steph, what's your take on the AL East and the Yankees?
I mean, well, specifically with the Yankees, they're just not clicking, right? Like the hitting now, yes, they're doing it now, but it's gonna come down to pitching, like Dex said. I'm not so confident that when it comes down to a big series that the Yankees can pull it out, especially if they're going against a team that has the pitching. Because yes, you have the heavy hitters there, but Gary Sanchez still isn't someone that scares me. He's still strikeout prone. Like he's still someone that you can beat, right? Like I'll take my best pitcher against Gary Sanchez, and I think they win every time, unless they make a mistake.
Jacob deGrom. I mean,
well, no. I mean, I'm not saying like in the Mets, but I'm saying if I'm an opposing team, in a major series, I would take my ace over Gary Sanchez. He just isn't that reliable still. He's heating up, but
you got to watch out for him at least for now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not saying you can make a mistake to Gary Sanchez, but also Gary Sanchez is just not a consistent hitter. We've seen that throughout his career. So yes, it's nice that he has a few home runs now and he's driven in some runs, but he's not someone you can rely upon 2 outs, runs in scoring position. I'm not like Gary Sanchez got this, so I think that they're just not clicking the way they need to. You have some injuries, guys coming back from injuries. You still need DJ. DJ is a key piece to the Yankees doing well. He needs to be that hitter, not even the home run hitter. He has to be the guy that is putting the ball in play, getting on base at a high clip. That's who they need, because the 260, 270 DJ is not going to be the kickstarter that he has been for the Yankees. And as far as the AL East goes, it's the Red Sox. I mean, Greg, we were talking about it earlier, how they kind of been jostling between them and the Rays, but the Red Sox, that offense, even though the pitching hasn't been as stellar, you have a Rodriguez who's inconsistent, I would say at best, but their bats are loud and they have hitters that are doing the damn thing out there. So I just think the Red Sox are the team to beat right now. Toronto is someone that I'm expecting a little bit more from, because I think they're top 5, or at least I might actually think they're second overall in number of home runs in the MLB. So they have the bats, like they have the pop. We see all the young guys. Yes, they do. They exactly. They have the MVP. You have a Robbie Ray who is pitching very well for them right now. This is the Robbie Ray that when he was with the Diamondbacks, you saw the flashes, but he just couldn't get it together. But I'm seeing more of the better pitcher, a better version of Robbie Ray now than they've had in the past. And Ryu, they have a staff to me that can compete. It's the standings don't show it yet, but I could see them mid-season, later in the season, making some noise there and making the Yankees sweat. So that's my take.
So I know I initially picked the Yankees to win the division, but if the Yankees don't get it together in terms of their starting pitching, or go out and get a starting pitcher, whoever they have in the system, it's not going to cut.
It's not it.
And with the Rays bringing up Wander Franco, who looks like he can arguably be, even in that first game, he looks like he could be one of the best players in that division next to the MVP. I know it's a little premature, but I'm just talking about the flashes that he showed. I'm talking on both sides of the ball.
Pure potential.
Yeah. He could be that good. And the Rays, to me, out of the 3 teams, have the best. Was it 3 or 4? 4 teams. I'm sorry. Have the best pitching. And we all know that's what matters in September and October, pitching. And I think the Blue Jays are going to play spoiler. They're not going to make the playoffs, but they are going to play spoiler to
they for sure can.
Someone in that division, and I think they're going to play spoiler to the Yankees. So I got the Rays actually on top of that division because of how things are shaking up, and I think calling up Wander Franco right now is going to be the kick that they needed.
Yeah,
I gotta push back a little bit. And here's why. And I understand that the Rays have decent pitching, but at this point,
no, they have better pitching.
Better pitching. But I'm not afraid of Rich Hill in game 1 or 2 in the series. I'm sorry, I'm just not, and I don't think anybody should be.
I mean, if we push back to that, is who do the Yankees have in game 2 that you should be scared of? Severino can't pitch in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Hey, again, I agree, but at the same time, right now the Rays don't have a Garrett Cole. And that's big because they traded away Snell in the offseason. Glasnow's out for the rest of the year. I don't fear anybody in that rotation.
I mean, given their history, I would not be surprised if there's somebody that the Rays call up that can just get the job done.
I could see them also making I could see them making a trade, but it's so frustrating that they traded Blake Snell when they were a couple games. Listen, they went to the World Series, they were overmatched, and
it also
maybe, but I don't know. That trade makes no sense to me.
It wouldn't surprise me either if Blake Snell went to the front office and said, "Deal me, I'm out."
Could be the case as well, yeah.
Could be, but I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily what you do on a team that just went to the World Series. I know that
it doesn't always have to be about that.
I'm not afraid of Chris Archer right now. I'm not afraid of Rich Hill. These guys don't scare me at all. I actually like Boston's pitching more with Rodriguez and Evaldi.
They've always been high K guys, but they give up runs. So the offense has to hold them up. And in the playoffs, that's very different.
Michael Walker's going to pitch game 3. I mean, I just don't see it.
Also, the Yankees in the playoffs, their style of offense is not exactly conducive to putting up the runs needed.
I agree. No small ball whatsoever.
Yeah.
We definitely got more New York.
Like the 2015 Mets.
Mm-hmm.
What I wanted to say is, Greg, because I like that you brought up about Wander Franco. And it reminds me of when Alvarez was called up for Houston and what he did as a spark plug for them, that he was just instant offense. The guy, all he did was hit home runs. Mm-hmm. Anytime he came up to the plate, everyone that was watching was confident that he was going to put the ball in play. He was going to hit it hard somewhere. I think Wander could be that for Tampa Bay. But, like Dex said, the pitching isn't there. They don't have the names, but you don't always need the names when you're gritty, right?
Yeah.
Like they could easily win a series, and now it's not going to be like this easy win. I think they'll have to grind out every win, but they'll have the offense to go toe to toe, and their pitchers just have to hold up with the arms that they have. They don't have the stud, they don't have the horse like you expect to have in a series, in a playoff or a playoff series. But I do believe with the bats, and especially Wanda, when you have an opportunity to score every time you get up to the plate, you're going to give your team a chance, period. And that's what I think they have. They have a chance, especially going up against the Yankees. But let's talk about...
We do have quick breaking news. Jason Kidd is the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks now. But I know we got a lot of baseball to cover. But shout out to Manny on that.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Manny. But we do have some more baseball to cover. I want to get the other New York team, the better New York team, the Mets. So, like Greg said earlier, they are dealing with a lot of injuries right now. Despite that, they're still in first place. They're still collecting wins. They did get Conforto McNeil back, but they lost Luke Casey for the season with a UCL tear. Gesellman is out with a right lat strain. Stroman is out, not on the IL, but he has a hip injury. He's day to day. We don't know what that's going to result in. And Thomas Nido went down with a right wrist contusion. Now
I knew it. It.
Oh yeah, the way he was moving after he got hit, I could tell it was something serious. But with that led the Mets to make some moves, calling up Corey Oswald and then Tyler McGill, who we saw pitch the other day. Not bad, but these aren't guys that you expect to rely on deep into the season.
He pitched for the Twins, that guy?
No, Tyler McGill.
No. He's drafted by the Mets. He's been the farm. Mm-hmm.
That's his brother.
And then yesterday, we had the Mets signing Vance Worley to a minor league contract. Wow. I haven't heard that name in so long. Vance Worley hasn't played the MLB since 2017. The Mets did sign him to a minor league contract in 2018, but he didn't get called up. They released him. And most recently, he's been playing indie ball out in Kane for the Kane County Cougars. So that's the kind of desperation that you're seeing from the Mets, where they're going out and grabbing guys that haven't seen MLB play in a while just to get the depth.
Vance Worley.
So, yes.
You guys are going to the World Series. I don't know how else to say it.
I mean, what it really comes down to is that we're at a point in the season where injuries like this could have you fall further down in the standings from any other team. You'd see that, right? When you have a bunch of no-name guys that are now being signed or guys that haven't played in a while, but the Mets, again, are still finding ways to win with their offense. They're piecing it together. So when the help does come, because we do have, I believe, I forgot who just went on assignment. Was it No, it wasn't Syndergaard. Someone just went on a rehab assignment.
It was Nimmo.
Nimmo, but no.
No, it was Nimmo.
It was Nimmo, but I feel like there was someone else. But either way, you have help coming on the way, right? Carrasco's not someone you can rely upon. Syndergaard's still a ways out.
Dylan's almost back.
But that's what was huge. Dylan went on a rehab assignment.
That's gonna
so that helps the bullpen. And DeGrom is someone that we still haven't seen eclipse 100 pitches, I think, since April. So we need a DeGrom that is the horse to really help us out and be the guy we can rely upon. I mean, at this point, Greg, you might have a chance. I honestly think the Mets might need to, do a little roll call and get some people down on an off day and have them throw.
I know, right?
Ali Perez, Greg Foley.
I'll use that changeup.
Yeah, exactly. The Vulcan. But yeah, I think the Mets are making it happen with very little. And so when the help does come, it's going to be a scary team, right? Like that is why. And even though they're beating up the NL East, it's not as strong as we all expected it to be in the beginning of the season. They're still making it work. So that's my elongated 2 cents on that. But Greg, I want to know what do you think?
Zane said I use Spider Attack. Nah, in spring training I used suntan lotion. That's what I used. That was my
just suntan because Glasnow does suntan and rosin.
I didn't know about the rosin. I didn't know about the rosin in college.
Mixture?
The mixture. It was that, and between I would use the tar with no hands, and it would make suntan lotion, so it worked.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, I'm sending the umpire out to the mound next time we play.
Go ahead, send them out. Send them out. Won't find anything. And as far as the Mets go, it helps that one thing we've seen from the Mets this year is the ability to bounce back. They lost 3 out of 4 from the Nats, and then they got a split with the Braves. Previous Mets teams would have lost 3 out of 4 from the Nats, and then went and lost games they should have won against the Braves.
Yeah. Get swept.
Yeah, but they're bouncing back, which is really good, and they're getting key performances from like you said, no-name guys, and when the starters come back, like you saw what a jolt McNeil and Conforto gave to the lineup in their first game back. It was like a totally different lineup. And then that makes the bench stronger. You have a Billy McKinney coming off the bench, hit late in games, or a Brandon Drury. It strengthens the entire team and gives us depth going into the rest of the season, and depth that we didn't think we had. I actually kind of want to see Vance Worley. He reminds me of Charlie Sheen from Major League.
Who he reminds me of a little bit with his goggles and his shaved crew cut.
Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
He reminds me a lot
Eric
of
Gagne.
You guys ever see that guy? What was it, Louisville, the pitcher that was screaming "F you" off the mound?
Yes.
But he reminds me just like him with the goggles.
See, not enough people watch college baseball, so they won't get it.
Thank God Greg was on this live.
Yeah, because I'd been like, that guy, cool.
That would have been a dud.
I know exactly who you're talking about, but that is a good call. It's very Vance Worley-esque. For those of you that don't know, you could Google the clip. Louisville pitcher yelling "F you."
It's viral.
I'm sure some people have seen it. But
Manny's in the comments talking about Greg cheats while he's pitching. Shut up, Manny.
And he had Coach Womack. He must have had that pre-show clip in his head the whole time.
Definitely. So I want to move on to one other team, which they deserve their praise, and they're in a bigger market, but I don't think enough people are buying the hype. I wasn't, but the San Francisco Giants are here. They're 48-26. You have Kevin Gausman, who's second in the league in ERA. He has a 1.47 ERA. Like, among starting pitchers, that is. He has been amazing. After leaving the Orioles, this is what I didn't expect to see this pitcher.
The Orioles are where pitchers go to die.
No, well, true, because, I mean, what happened with Jake Arrieta? Remember? Well, true, but I'm saying, like, okay, so you had Jake Arrieta, who was with the Orioles. You didn't expect him to be much of anything. He went to the Cubs, wins a Cy Young. All right? Like, that organization just pitching and Orioles don't go hand in hand. It is toxic.
I can't wait till John Means gets traded to the Braves.
The Mets will get John Means. Watch.
All right. Keep track of that. But you even have Anthony DeSclafani, who's been great for them, decent for the Reds, but really good for the Giants. And they're hitting the ball. They don't have the highest batting average. I think for the league, they're like batting 240 something, but they're in first place in home runs in the MLB, and they're in fourth in runs scored. Like they're hitting the ball, they're scoring when they need to. A run is a scoring position, and they are dominating out there in the NL West. So, Deck, I want to ask you, what do you think about these Giants? Is this real or is this fool's gold?
I think it is real to an extent. I don't know what that means.
So, like, partially fool's gold?
I think this is a team that I think they could win 90 games. I think that they can stay afloat to do that. I don't think they're going to win that division. but I think they'll have a decent play at the wild card. I mean, have we found out about the freaking playoff format yet? I mean, what are they going to tell us?
No, we have.
Freaking place and need to get in. Like,
no, we have. They're reverting back to the 2019 format. Yeah, only because the CBA. So after this season, because it expires in October, I believe, then they're going to revisit it and see if they want to have the expanded playoffs, which I'm sure they will, because it's just, again, advertisers, right? That's more airtime. So they're most likely going to expand it.
I do like the 5 team because I feel like it shouldn't be that easy to make it. Although, 10 teams out of 30 league makes it. I think that's fine. We know how Greg feels about it, and he's right to feel about it because it definitely is more excitement. And as I look at my Yankees in 3rd place, I think
like expanded playoffs for me, please. Yeah. Thank you.
I appreciate the honesty. Nice. I will say it's going to take more than 90 games to win the NL West. It definitely will. I say even 92 games might be tough wild card in that division because between them, the Dodgers and the Padres, you got some really great baseball being played. And what I like about the Giants, they're not doing it with star power. Oh, shout out to Mike Tucker because the Yankees sure could use him right now.
I mean, they got an Andrew Harvey in left field that can't be figured out.
But everything you mentioned, Steph, is why I don't think the Giants are fool's gold, because they're doing it on all facets of the game. Yeah. It's not just, and it's not something that's unsustainable, because these guys. I think what you have here is guys who were in other places that it didn't click with certain coaches, and these coaches on the Giants figured out a way how to get through these pitchers who knew what they were capable of, and these pitchers are responding.
Yeah, shout out to Gabe Kapler. He's doing his thing out there.
So, by the way, there's a ton of managers that I watched play growing up that are managers now, and it's really great to see.
Rocco Baldelli.
What's also kind of interesting about that, we move on real quick. Yeah. These managers were not like all-star, MVP type players. These were gritty, run-of-the-mill role players.
Baldelli could have been. He just had an illness. No, that wasn't just injuries. It was an illness that prevented him from, I think it was like sickle cell or something like that prevented him from being an everyday player. But he had the talent to be.
What I'm saying, there are no MVPs, and what that kind of speaks to is when you don't play the game on an MVP level, you have to know it on a cerebral level to get to that level and be able to coach guys and superstars. And it's just really great to see, to be honest, from a baseball perspective.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, what Dex said, I can't imagine the Dodgers or San Diego losing to them in a series. Just they have the better pitching. While the Dodgers are I feel like I have in fantasy in one of my leagues Mookie Betts, and he still hasn't gotten going. Like he's here and there batting like 2-something, but the Dodgers are not a team that I would count out later in September.
I did predict that.
I love the Astros-Yankees fight going on in the comments right now.
Miles Straw? What is – get him out of here. The one thing that Zane said that was funny was that he said he'll pull up with the trash can in the stands for Greg. I thought that was
Astros Giants on July 30th, as Zane pointed out. That will be a series to keep our eye on.
Yeah, I mean that's it's going to be exciting baseball. Just the way the Giants are playing right now. But I want to move on to the NHL, which we kind of touched upon on Smoke and Mirrors, but we haven't talked about it. But we're in the NHL's in the playoffs, and we do have at least one team that is heading to the Stanley Cup for the first time in their history, the Montreal Canadiens, and Greg was it? Canadiens, and it's the Habs, right?
Yeah,
the
Habs.
First time in their history they've won I think they've won 24 Stanley Cups.
They're the winningest franchise in sports after the Yankees.
Yes.
I'm sorry, it's the first time. Well, I remember reading a stat that was
since 93.
93. Okay, that's what it was.
Since 93.
Yeah, 28. So I mean, long time. That's quite a long drought to not be in the Stanley Cup.
That's when Garrison was born.
Was shout out to Gary. So we have that series that wrapped up, and then of course we have the Islanders. Shout out to Chuck. which we could have had you on here to talk about them.
And Carl gets a half a shout out because he's not a real Islanders fan yet.
True. Well, during the Juneteenth event, Carl, I remember him just showing me his phone in that Game 5 SmackDown that the Islanders had 8 goals.
Pitching for Tampa. I mean,
I just can we go back to the Habs for 1 second?
Yeah.
I just want to say that that was really unexpected because the Golden Knights, probably arguably the best franchise team in all 4 major sports.
Expansion team.
Yeah, expansion team. I meant. Yeah. They beat them 4-2, and I don't think too many hockey fans saw the Golden Knights losing to the Habs.
Yeah.
And I think the most impressive thing about the Habs in that series was their penalty killing. They were 30 for 30, and that is really impressive for a team with the firepower like the Golden Knights. So shout out to the Habs. I am rooting for them, whoever wins coming out of the East, especially if it's the Islanders.
What do you got winning out of the East, though?
I think Stamkos and the Lightning are going to take it.
Yeah, today at 8, right? I think that's Game 7.
What'd you say, Declan?
Why would you do that to
What? Speak on it.
It's so upsetting to see you take the Tampa Bay team when there are so many Islanders fans that are tuning in right now that want to hear from some hockey expert who's going to win tonight.
Have I ever spoken like I care what people want to hear?
Yeah, I guess that's
not wrong.
Not hockey experts either. Dude, give me the Islanders. I mean, the fact that Barzal wasn't suspended for that hit in Game 5 when they were down 8-0 is nothing short of remarkable. I mean, at least the NHL knows where their money is.
Yeah, I was going to say that is completely a front office decision there.
Yeah, I mean, and if he ever would have got suspended, I mean, I would have appealed that to like 2025 if I was the Islanders or anyone. If I was, Barry over there, there's no way that I wouldn't send that one away. But you know what? I'm gonna have to go with the Islanders. I'd love to see an overtime game Friday night. It's in Tampa. It would be cool if it was in the Coliseum. But then I think all of Long Island would collapse if they ever won, or if they lost too.
It would burn if they lost.
Would burn. Give me a 4-2 Islanders win on the road in Tampa, and they will take on.
Wow, 2 goals on the road, 2-goal victory on the road.
I mean, there was like an 8-goal victory a couple of games ago for the Islanders. I mean, for the Lightning. So anyway.
Which is why you giving them the 4-2 on the road in Game 7 is a little true.
But they won 3-2. They got the momentum coming.
Yeah.
I know they were just home, but momentum in hockey, because momentum does exist, as we mentioned 8 times on this broadcast. I think it's going to be huge for them, and I'd like to see how it translates. And you know what? It would be good to see. We haven't had a Stanley Cup. I haven't witnessed the New York Hockey Stanley Cup ever, but I saw
it's quite a sight. It is quite a sight.
I saw the Rangers in there 7 years ago, and they lost. But it would be nice to see the Islanders get in because I don't think I've seen that before. So, hey, it would be nice. It would be nice to go to some Sun Devils athletic games and have the Coliseum rocking in the back.
Listen. I just need you guys to make the playoffs. That's it. Make the playoffs.
Don't worry. What did Brody Van Wagenen say?
They're on the road to it, right? You guys are winning. You're doing your thing. Yeah.
We have taken like 4 of our last 5.
If there is a Sun Devils Athletics matchup in our league, right? We're gonna need Boss Man to come out there with his camera to film that live. That's what we're gonna need.
Yes,
I like that. That's good
because that's the 3 of us.
Like Karen recording skateboarders.
That's the 3 of us and Garrison that'll be playing in that game.
Yeah, that's big.
True.
That's big to the brand. That's big brand stuff. Big baller brand.
Big baller brand.
Maybe if Womack's not on vacation, not on working, he could come get this work after the game.
I was waiting for you to speak to that because we've had a few episodes with that clip. You haven't really said anything yet, so I'm happy that you spoke to it because we saw long locks Greg back then in the beginning, which was a while back. That's a long time ago. And I mean, in the clip, you have your hair cut, obviously, and so now we're far removed from when this actually happened. I'm curious, honestly, where y'all both are at in your lives. I'm curious what this looks like.
Really?
I mean,
could there be
and that's 5+ years. He still hasn't swung a bat, so it's still on my side. Anyway,
well, we know Greg's low key a hooper. I mean, we know that.
Oh yeah, and that's why he accepted the challenge, or rather he created the challenge.
Yeah, I'll bet significant money on this. This is like a Tyson Logan Paul fight. But you know what I will say?
Tyson Logan Paul. Who's Logan Paul? Which one?
I think that it is very funny how Greg is going nuts with his hair. He's got the dreads down to his shoulders or past his shoulders in the one clip. Walmart got him so frustrated that he was stressed out. He lost his hair. I don't know what happened. He had a whole makeover.
He had a whole mohawk.
I think you know what I really think it was? I think he was trying to save like 3 miles per hour on his pitches, and that's why he cut his hair. He pulled a DeGrom. I think that's what he did. I really do.
It's funny though. For those that play other sports that think baseball is so easy when they step in a box, because he's not the only one that's challenged me in these sports hit list streets. It is quite amusing. It's akin to guys practicing for stand-up, thinking that they could step in the box and even attempt to put a ball in play against me.
That's like saying that I'm gonna go face off against. Do we have any hockey players? I don't know. It's like saying I'm gonna go skate on the ice and shoot a 95-mile-an-hour puck through the 5-hole. Like that's not gonna happen, and I'm not gonna say that. But there's like an old saying that if you put a baseball player in any sport, he'll compete for the most part. Most part. But if you take an athlete, you can take a 5-star football player or a 5-star basketball player from a Division I college. It could be anybody.
They'll look silly.
It's 90, and
they'll look silly.
You heard that, Mac? You're gonna look silly, bro.
He'll look like that in crosshand.
Yeah,
I said that.
No. Oh no, it's cool. I mean, when that debate first happened, I was in agreement that you have the better shot than Mac does going against you in baseball. It's just because you don't being athletic is not the way that you win in baseball. Just being athletic, whereas in the other sports you can be athletic and compete and do well, or you might dominate, but athleticism doesn't translate to the good stats or the solid play in baseball alone. It takes more than that, and that's why you can see baseball players going elsewhere and being successful. Whereas you have your Michael Jordans of the world that can that end up playing baseball and struggling because it's just not the same. With that though,
still hit like 190.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a different ball game, no pun intended. But yeah, with that, I do want to say on Monday we're going to be covering this Islanders Lightnings game one that's tonight at 8:00.
Game 7.
Let's say game 1. Oh, did I say game 1? Oh, my bad. Yeah, game 7. I feel like I didn't say game 1, but either way, we're going to be covering it on Monday. Shout out to the Islander fans out there, Chuck for sure. As a contributor to Smoke and Mirrors, I hope that the Islanders do win for your sake, because I do want to see you on Monday happy. Because
enough stress.
We love to have you.
New York teams, give them one.
Mm-hmm. But with that being said, that's going to do it for us. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to all Hit List content on YouTube, Facebook, and on IG. Our handle is Sports HL. Again, that's Sports HL. And coming up on Monday, we're going to have the off the top rope with the Pro Wrestling Crew. As you already know, Wednesday is the main show with Boss Man at 4 p.m. You can always tune in for that. The B show is on hiatus, as we said before, but you'll have us on Monday as well, 1 to 2. And we're also, as you know, Fridays, 1 to 2 as well. So look forward to it. We have a lot planned for the Monday show. It's going to be a lot of games to cover this weekend. But with that, I'm your host, Stephen Polius, alongside Declan Krogman and Greg Polius. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.